You feel the bitter cold of the strange haze that surrounds the gate, just as you did in Areelu Vorlesh's laboratory. Through the distortion, you can see the gates of Drezen and hear muffled voices. The distortion is trying to draw you in, but you are ready to resist its pull. Perception. Look into the distortion. As you look closer, you can see the tall outline of a figure, possibly an elf or a human. But there is something strange happening to this figure. It is changing and distorting. Sometimes horns sprout from the figure and then disappear again, as if it is trying to contain or conceal its true shape. Instinctively, you sense that this creature is dangerous. Touch the haze. You try to touch the distortion but meet resistance, as if your hand is being pushed back by a powerful gust of cold air. For a moment, you feel as if the cold spreading up your arms has frozen your bones, turning them to fragile ice. However, the sensation passes quickly. Go inside the distortion. You can't resist the force pulling you into the distortion. The past and present collide, creating a vortex of energy that consumes you. Where is this simpleton? How long do I have to wait for him? And who the hell is this? Behind the guise of a beautiful woman, you can clearly see Minagho's eyeless face. She raises her hand to cast a spell, but a unit of knights come through the gate. To battle, my friends! The gods are with us. Today we will gain a long-awaited victory for the crusade. You barely recognize Stauton. There's a cheerful smile on his young face, and there's hope in his eyes instead of dark despair. He doesn't notice you. His eyes are locked on Minagho. Darling, at last! With this banner we are invincible! Let's go! The great deed you do today will never be forgotten. Every crusader will know your name, and the queen herself will reward you. You see past the illusion. Demons disguised as crusaders sneer mockingly. Will you have enough power to help Stauton see the truth? If you can convince Stauton to believe you, you are sure that you can temporarily give him the sight to see the truth for himself. Stauton, you must return the banner, or there will be trouble. The dwarf seems confused. Trouble? Why? We just wanted to... Surely we win, right? We've got to. Don't listen to him. It's all a lie. He's a demon trying to corrupt you. Looks like it. Stauton glowers at you, clutching the holy symbol that hangs around his neck. In the name of Torag, state your purpose. Answer me. Who are you and why have you come here? Diplomacy. I'm your friend, and I've come to stop you from making a terrible mistake. I don't know you, but for some reason I feel like you're telling the truth. Shut your lying mouth. Don't you poison him against me. Stauton, light of my life, don't listen to this scum. Let's kill him and keep going. Great deeds await. I trusted you. Stauton's grim voice breaks. I trusted you. I loved you. And you... Were you lying to me all this time? You wanted to set me up so that I'd fall and take Drezen down with me? Who are you, really? No. I can't believe you're going to fall for the lies of this scum. I've never deceived you, my sweet. I love you so much. Requires Aeon mythic path. Stauton Vhane, accept the gift of the Aeon and behold the truth with your own eyes. The dwarf's eyes are filled with a radiant light, just for a moment, but it's enough. He looks at Minagho and our entourage, and an exclamation bursts from his lips that is completely inappropriate for a paladin. Another moment passes, and his weapon is in his hand. Torak, save me! Stauton makes a sign of blessing. Brothers and sisters, it's a trap! These are demons! Kill them! Protect the banner! You hear a low rumble. It is the flow of time changing its course, slowly and reluctantly. You were able to change the past. Everything was as it should have been. Everything is as it should be. Everything will be as it should. Commander, so it really was you on this very spot 70 years ago. Battle-hardened and weathered by time, Stauton's hands are covered in scars and wrinkles line his forehead, but his eyes shine with hope as brightly as they did in his youth. When you stood between me and my moment of glory, between me and the one I consider my beloved, I was ready to kill you. But you said you were my friend and you spoke the truth. Even it took me decades to realize it. Anyway, in all the confusion, I never got the time to take you aside and say thank you. Not for what you did for Drezen or the Crusade, but for what you did for me. Why are you only telling me this now? I wasn't completely sure. I was waiting. That night, I felt something inexplicable. It was like the rumble of a mountain beginning to move, a sound you hear before an earthquake, with your bones, not with your ears. For a moment, I felt the movement not of rock and earth, but of time itself. Back then, I didn't understand what it meant, but now, at this very moment, I have the same feeling. You've just been there, haven't you? 70 years have passed for me since the night you tried to convince a young idiot not to make the worst mistake of his life. But not for you. Stauton's gaze sweeps over you in admiration. My memory's not perfect, but I swear even the wrinkles on your clothes look the same as they did that night. So you understand what I did? Yes, and no. I know the only thing that matters. Commander Judge Dredd can work miracles. I spent many sleepless nights thinking about what you did. Was it really possible that you had come from some dreadful future where Drezen had fallen? That you had traveled to the past in order to stop it from happening? If so, what was it like in that world? Did it disappear forever? Or does it still exist somewhere? I finally realized that it didn't matter. A miracle is a miracle. You performed one for me, and I'm grateful. The world has changed, and you sense that you and your companions are the only ones who remember events as they previously were. The reason for this? Your power as an Aeon. What happened after that night? We returned the banner to its rightful place. I confess what I did. I thought I was sure to be stripped of my rank and sent to the condemned, but at least my conscience would be clean. But that's not what happened. I became a hero. Can you imagine? Everyone was praising me for how I'd defeated Minagho in battle. They rewarded me, promoted me. In the end, I became the warden of the fortress, but then everything went downhill. The Second Crusade was different from the first. The first time, we fought scattered groups of demons from a little crack between the worlds. The second time, the crack had split apart into a gaping hole, and an entire army poured out of it. We were retreating, giving up mile after mile to them. Soon it was clear we didn't have a chance, not just of a quick victory, but even of saving what was left of Socorus. If Iomedae hadn't created a magic barrier around the wound to stop the onslaught of demons, the rest of the world would have followed Socorus. In the midst of this nightmare, Drezen stood, an indestructible citadel. But soon it turned into a tiny enclave of crusaders deep within enemy territory. The banner and our bravery kept demons outside the walls, and its queen's support kept us alive and fed. But a counterattack was out of the question. That is, until the day you brought the 5th Crusader army to the city walls and lifted the decades-long siege. Did a Bay Lord named Drezen fight in that battle? Was he attacked by a dwarf named Greybor? Drezen? Yes, he was among those laying siege to the city. A dwarf named Greybor wounded him severely and forced him to flee. It's been a long time since I've seen such a daring and well-executed attack. What do you know about me? When the demons attacked Kenabris, They were hoping to put an end to the Crusades. They planned on taking the Ward Stone of Kenabris and using it to destroy the entire magic barrier around the war wound. Their dirty plan would have worked if it wasn't for the hero who stood in their way. You. You reclaimed the Ward Stone and made the demons leave Kenabris. Queen Galfrey appointed you to the commander of the Fifth Crusade. They say Ayamade herself guides you in battle, and you perform real miracles in her name. Well, I don't know about the goddess, but I've seen your miracles with my own eyes. You came to the walls of Drezen and lifted the siege. You did what the entire Mendevian army couldn't do for decades. You scared the demons away from the walls. Now this city is your capital, and your armies are crushing the demons on all fronts. After the liberation of Drezen, Iomede's holy banner, the Sword of Valor, started to change, as if acknowledging your rule over it. Many deemed this to be a good sign. What will you do next? Serve, the dwarf says simply. Serve you and the crusade. That night, when you let me see the world through your eyes for just a moment, I saw the true nature of these demons, but I also saw how this world is organized and what my place is within it. I will serve here, and I will die here. Stauton gives you a salute and walks away. As you follow the dwarf with your eyes, you feel the burden of time weigh heavily on your shoulders. You did what you intended, and yet how little has changed. The course of time has been altered, but only a little. Can anything truly be changed? What if it was as it was? It is what it is, and it will be as it will be. Or is there a way to make everything as it should be, and you just haven't found it yet?